Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see here, we're going live on both our YouTube short platform and our main channel here, just so we can get, as much people weather aware as possible. But anyways, my friends, hope everyone's doing good. We're going to go ahead and jump right on into it here. We're just going to go ahead and jump on into it. Hope everyone's doing good out there. Actually, I don't think my my shorts is working. Okay, so you know what? We're just gonna go live on the main platform here because, well, decided it didn't want to work. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and see who we got here today so far. We do got ourselves, let's see here. We got Peachy, we have iFunny, we have Team Kenny, we have Meow Mix, we have Sniper, we have Within, we have Crazy Path, we have, let's see, Jacob, Silent, Roby, Raka, Cherlandi, I think it's your name. Let's see here, Jacob, Black Label, Jordan, Brian, MD, Misty, Brad. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Glad to have y'all here. Yeah, I was going to go live on my other platform, but you know what? It's all right. But anyways, my friends, well, we got a big upgrade. Like we were talking about yesterday, there could be that possibility of, an extension and possibly even an upgrade regarding the event tomorrow. We do got ourselves a enhanced risk now, a level 3 out of 5. Now, we're going to be doing zip codes towards the end of the live stream in order to help you guys be weather aware and prepared. And that way I can kind of explain to you guys like what risks that you specifically have. Now, overall, we do have a 10% risk for tornadoes, which is a pretty decent shot for tornadoes. And unfortunately, we do have a significant risk as well, meaning that there is a potential for EF2 or greater tornadic activity, in which the biggest tornado threat overall is going to be up there towards like northeastern Oklahoma into eastern Kansas, and even a little bit of like northwestern Missouri is kind of in the worst of that tornadic probability. Like I said, we could have a couple significant tornadoes, meaning potentially EF2 or greater. And like I said, Topeka, we have Manhattan, not the Manhattan you're probably thinking of. This is Manhattan, Kansas. Emporia and Osage City, those areas are inside of the hatch risk, in the threat where a couple tornadoes could be quite significant. So that's something that we're going to need to really look out for. And then the overall tornado threat actually expands quite a bit. I mean, we do have ourselves the tornado threat going as far up to the north as like, southern Wisconsin here, southern Wisconsin and, where a couple of tornadoes cannot be ruled out, as well going all the way down to like kind of north central Texas. I mean, this is a pretty big threat, pretty large area where, a couple of tornadoes cannot be ruled out. But by far the heaviest of the threat is here across the brown and the yellow. That's kind of where the most of the confined tornadic activity is expected there overall. Isaac, yes, we're going live tomorrow to cover this for sure. Let's see here. I think we're going to get a tornado outbreak possible. We'll see. I mean, severe weather outbreak regardless seems quite likely at this point, because also like damaging winds is a big concern too. They actually upgraded the probability here as well to a 30% chance. Now it's non-sig, meaning that the winds in this case, the damaging wind potential is going to be in the realm of around 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts out there towards like northeastern Oklahoma, once again eastern Kansas, and like northwestern portions of Missouri, including Kansas City, is in a pretty good wind threat, overall as well. Then of course we have hail. The hail threat hasn't changed in terms of overall severity. However, the risk obviously has expanded quite a bit since yesterday. Once again, all the way going up to southern Wisconsin. We could get some hail. Generally, hail tomorrow is going to be in the range of around 1 to 2 inches in diameter. That's going to be, basically the size of the, hail that we're going to be expecting tomorrow. So, overall, the main concerns out there, once again, kind of in the same areas, from Texas up to like Iowa, portions of, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, a little bit of southeast Nebraska included as well. What's up, Brandy? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Do I think the storm is still intensifying? Well, I mean, the storm is just starting to get together. The storm really hasn't happened yet, so it can't really intensify if it's not even existent right now. But the way that things are going, it looks like we've been uptrending, of course, in terms of the strength and the overall area included in the severe weather risk. But yeah, so regardless, like I said, hail, we are expecting about 1 to 2 inches in diameter regarding hail size across the regions here. Once again, the brown's a 5% chance for hail, ranging between quarter size to 2 inches in diameter. And, of course, the yellow is a 15% chance. Damaging winds, we're expecting the wind range to be within, once again, gusts, ranging between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts there. 5% chance across the brown, 15 across the yellow. And, of course, we do have that red 30% area out there as well. So that is something to look into. Obviously, the pretty big wind threat out there, regardless. And, of course, we do have that tornadic probability, where we do have a 2% chance across the green, 5% chance across the brown, and then the 10% chance across the yellow. But then, like I said, we have this netted area. Like I said, this is the hatch risk. This is the significant risk that we have to us here, which is indicating the possibility that we could have a couple of strong tornadoes, potentially EF2 or greater. So if that's going to happen, the greatest potential is going to be out there in eastern Kansas. So we'll definitely need to be looking out there for that tomorrow. Anyways, y'all, we're going to go ahead and hop on way over here to our models. We're going to take a look at the HRRR. We actually finally have some pretty good, ranges of the models now. We got all models on board right now. So we're going to go ahead and hop on over here to the models. Actually, we got the 0 Zulu starting to render right now. I don't know how far it's gone. It doesn't look like it's really gone too far. So we're going to hop down to the 18 Zulu, the last full run of HRRR here. So we work our way down in time, and, as we approach our way out there towards tomorrow, about tomorrow afternoon, we could have a couple of storms early popping off out there towards, like, southeastern Nebraska out there, and, maybe some of Kansas. Then, of course, we're going to get a lot of precipitation that's going to start to develop across, some of the areas out there by Iowa, like southern, southeastern Minnesota, out there towards Wisconsin. We could pick up a couple of inches of rain out there, because we do have a pretty good amount of rainfall that is expected to, develop out there. But then as we approach our way into the late afternoon, early evening, you kind of notice here how, we start to get a line of storms. And a matter of fact, according to the HRRR, there's kind of two lines that potentially could develop here, which is kind of interesting. You can kind of see, the main line. This is right where the cold front's at, and then you have some of the prefrontals that could potentially fire off as well. We'll have to see if that actually comes into reality or not, because sometimes these models are a little iffy. But then, as we approach our way in towards right around 7 p.m. Central Time, this is a 0 Zulu, so 8 p.m. Eastern, and of course the time zone differential, it's 7 o'clock p.m. Central. We start to get a bit of, like I said, that line of storms develops, we start to get, some embedded supercells, some rotating thunderstorms, which, obviously could be, tornadic. A couple of those, could start off semi-discrete, meaning that they're going to, kind of be kind of spaced out relatively, just a little bit. But then, of course, as we further progress into the event here, we're just going to turn into a big old squall line, just a big old line of storms here that develops now. We're going to hop down to the bottom, or the bottom of the country here towards the southern plains, and you can actually see here, at this time as well, this is actually right around midnight. This is midnight for the central time folks here, in which you can actually see, we still have that line going through all the way through Oklahoma, possibly right around Tulsa at that point. And, of course, maybe a couple prefrontals, can't be ruled out there. And then, of course, that line just slightly to the west of, Fort Worth and Dallas. But eventually, as you can see, as we approach our way into the early morning, that line could be as far down to the south as, central Texas out there. And, of course, that would set us up for the 31st, which is for, Halloween, of course, which, there could be an extension of severe weather, which there already is, actually, here for Halloween. We are expecting a bit of severe weather to occur as well. Let's actually hop over to that real quickly. So this is the threat for Halloween right here. Very, very thin and narrow marginal risk out there, level 1 severe weather threat, going all the way there from basically, like I said, eastern Texas, going through Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, portions of Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, literally all of Indiana is kind of squeezed into that there. Western Ohio and even up there towards Michigan, could get a little bit of severe weather overall. So we'll have to look out there for that. Do I think strong storms will go into eastern Illinois? So, yeah, here for the 31st will probably be the day for severe weather in Illinois. So, or for eastern Illinois. Here for tomorrow, being the main event here for Wednesday, the threat does also go into kind of east central Illinois there. So, some severe weather late could be possible up in those regions there. Let's see here. We have thunderstorms heading in towards Wisconsin tomorrow. Yeah, southern Wisconsin tomorrow is under the risk for some severe weather, of course. Let's see here. John says severe storms for Halloween. Mother Nature uses trick instead of tree. Absolutely. We'll see. I mean, like I mentioned, we do have that marginal tomorrow. Day after tomorrow for Halloween. Pretty good size. The good news is that the event is going to be much weaker by then because, that instability is going to be fairly low over here. While the wind shear will be high, the instability will be low. And then the opposite down here, while the instability is higher, the wind shear will be lower. So, there's kind of not perfectly lining up there for a big severe weather event to continue into the 31st. But, for tomorrow, though, that's kind of where everything comes together, though, where we have the strongest wind shear overlapping some pretty strong instability, which, that's what's given us this big severe weather event. We're going to hop our way over back to the models here, y'all. Wow, look at this. I'm going to go ahead and show you all this. This is the HRRR, like we mentioned here, showing a pretty brutal-looking line right around midnight, maybe slightly before midnight, rolling through like Kansas City out there. Regardless, the problem is it's going to be mostly nighttime during this event here, which is going to make things pretty much impossible to see. So you really cannot wait to see or hear anything. If you're under a warning, if you somehow get under a tornado warning or something tomorrow, you need to immediately act. You cannot just go outside and wait to see it because you will not be able to, due to the fact that, it's nighttime. Plus, unfortunately, like we mentioned yesterday, there's going to be some embedded tornadic potential, meaning that the tornadoes are going to happen inside of these heavy precipitation bands, in which, that's going to obscure the view of seeing anything because, those curtains of rain are going to wrap around the tornado, making it, very difficult, if literally impossible, to see the tornado, especially with it being nighttime too. It just lowers your chances even more. So definitely, I want you to know that. Let's see here. Brandy coming in with a $5 Cash App donation. I just now got that notification. I appreciate that. Brandy, thank you so much. If you're still in the chat here, I appreciate that. Thank you, Brandy, for the support. It means a lot to me. Helps us out a bunch. Helps keep us afloat. So thank you so much, Brandy. That's very, very sweet of you. Let's see here. What about Dallas, Fort Worth? So, yeah, like we mentioned, Dallas does have a severe weather threat here. We do have the slight risk, a level 2 threat. out there for you guys. Now, the tornado props have actually increased to a 5% out there. 5% risk out there for, tornadic activity. We got damaging winds 15, and of course we have the hail at 15 as well. Once again, y'all, here's the hail threat. We have that 5% chance across the brown and the 15 across the yellow. So basically, like we mentioned, the hail size tomorrow is going to be ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So starting around quarter size up to 2 inches in diameter is going to be right around the size of the hail tomorrow. Then, of course, we got the wind threat here tomorrow as well, which, we do have that 30% chance that they've added for, like, northeastern Oklahoma, eastern Kansas, and, like, northwestern Missouri here. So, like we mentioned, pretty good shot there for damaging winds, too. Now, like we mentioned before, the winds are going to be ranging between, like, 60 and 70 miles an hour. In terms of wind gusts, remember, this is what the winds could peak and get up to. So that's still pretty strong, still pretty strong winds out there. And, of course, we have that tornado threat with that hatch risk that they've included for the potential of significant tornadoes, maybe EF2 or greater. So we'll definitely need to just monitor that. Now, if we take a look here, actually, I'm going to hop y'all over to the satellite view real quickly. We're going to go ahead and bring y'all over to that view right now. So if we take a look at the satellite imagery, you can already kind of see this event starting to come in play here. So you see how the air is moving to the north. Now, that's all that northerly movement. Actually, you can kind of see where there's a low, an area of low out there by southern Wyoming. You can kind of see that right there. So that's going to track to the northeast here. And, of course, we've actually been seeing, a lot of that warm air pulling its way up into the country. If we take a look at the observations out there, here towards like Oklahoma and Kansas, you can see that these little wind barbs are moving to the northwest and into the north here. So that's basically the atmosphere supplying and pulling up all of that moisture right now. So the event's already kind of getting started, but obviously it's not going to really kick off until tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. But, you can really see, though, just off of those little wind barbs there. I mean, all of them are pointing northerly, which, like I said, is basically pulling up all of that Gulf moisture and just kind of ripping its way into the country here, and which, that's going to continue into tomorrow. And due to the fact that we have these strong lower-level winds, that is going to create that tornado threat as well because, obviously tornadoes need some strong lower-level winds in order to initiate. So, we're kind of already starting to get the ingredients at play right now. So, I mean, you can see, though, we do have all those little wind barbs, a good 20, 25, some 30 knots or so. It's definitely been very windy out there today. We've had some wind gusts up in the 40 up to 50 realm in terms of wind gusts out there today. So it's certainly been pretty, certainly has been pretty windy out there. What's up, Legacy? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Scott says, hi, Andrew. I have to jump out and leave this morning. I need some sleep at 5 a.m. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, it's good to see you here, Scott. Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Christian says, when will Louisiana get rain? So, like we mentioned, there's actually a threat for Louisiana coming into Halloween. There will be a continuation. We hop over to the NAM model here. And we work our way down in time. You can see all of that precipitation coming up here for basically the late 31st, as we can tell. And if I hop back over here to the main risk here for Halloween, we take a look at the day 3 outlook here. You can actually see that like northern Louisiana is under the the risk for obviously a little bit of severe weather being possible. So, anyways. Let's see here. Could Tulsa get a tornado tomorrow night? So while it's unlikely that Tulsa will get like I said, while it's very unlikely that Tulsa will get a tornado, very unlikely. It is, you are still in the risk, which means the ingredients are in place for tornadoes nearby. Once again, the odds of you specifically getting one is extremely low. But still, obviously you want to watch it. You're going to want to keep an eye on the weather and everything like that. Let's see here. Jacob, thank you so much, man, for the $1 Cash App donation. Appreciate it. Saying sorry it's not much. Hey, man, Jacob, like I said, it's that does not matter. The fact that you supported us with that, it means a lot. So thank you so much, Jacob. Very, very sweet of you, man. Thank you. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, tomorrow, you still need to be on the lookout because it's still going to be pretty pretty heavy regardless. I mean, like I said, tornadoes is not only your problem. We got that wind threat too. Potential for damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour there overall. Then of course we got that hail threat too. Once again, 15%, ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter regarding hail size. So got to look out for the other hazards as well. Let's see. How am I feeling? Your voice sounds tired. I'm good. Hopefully you're doing good as well. Let's see here. No problem, Overbuilt. You're very welcome. How much snow are we going to see on the backside of the system, says Michael. Is there going to be any snow on that? I really haven't paid attention to snow, even if there is going to be some. Let's see here. Precipitation. Is there not a way here? Let's do this here. Is this... Wait, hold on a minute, y'all. Oh, winter, duh. I don't like how they have that laid out here. Let's go and hop you guys to the models here. So it looks like GFS. Let's see, what about NAM? Maybe shows a little bit of snow on the backside towards like maybe they're towards like Minnesota near Minneapolis. Could get a little bit of snow out there on the backside of the storm here. Doesn't look like anything significant. Let's do the accumulation. Oh wow, look at that. According to NAM, 14 inches. I would not go off of that though, honestly. Yeah, GFS shows about 8 inches or so, roughly. Then of course Euro, a lot less, maybe around 8 inches or so. We'll get a little bit. Let's see here. What's up, Robert? Saying good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is doing great. Stay safe. Hello, sir. So it looks like Springfield, Missouri is where I'm at. Will be fine. Well, Springfield, Missouri is in a severe weather threat for tomorrow. You're in a level 2 threat as of now, so you're kind of in that middle threat for tomorrow. So there will be the possibility for some tornado activity nearby overall. And of course, we are watching also, damaging winds as well. We got that 15% risk for damaging winds. Once again, it's still pretty unlikely that you'll get it, but still, I mean, it is a possibility and something that you need to look out for. Pay attention tomorrow if you get any warnings and take action based off of the warnings, of course. There's going to be a lot of warnings being issued tomorrow, more than likely. Then of course, hail threat. We still got a shot for some hail too, potentially. Let's see. Wendy says, how is Ava, Missouri looking? We'll pull it up real quickly if my program will even let... Oh, here we go. Hold on a minute. Ava, Missouri. We'll get more into the zip codes here in a little bit, you guys. Yeah, Ava's in the level 1 threat here for tomorrow. So kind of a lower end severe weather event. The storm, that line is going to weaken quite a bit by the time it gets to you. So that's good. It'll definitely drop off some of its energy by the time it gets to you. Let's see. What's up, Western? Hope you're doing good. Good evening, Andrew. How's Fort Smith looking? Any probability upgrades near the... hold on. Any probability upgrades near there possible? So... Yeah, we'll pull this up real quick. Fort Smith here. And then we'll go back into models, you guys. So Fort Smith, yeah, we got that slight risk out there. I don't know about any upgrades. I don't think so. I think we probably just will stick into that slight risk, to be honest. We got that 5% chance for tornadic activity. There we go. It took a minute to load. Yeah, you got that 5% chance for an isolated tornado or two nearby. Once again, the odds of you getting one is still very, very low, so try not to worry about that. But obviously, if there's a tornado warning that gets issued for you tomorrow, have a way to receive warnings. That's the best thing we can tell you. Is just have a way to receive warnings. Once again, we'll be live to cover this too. So we'll be live covering this activity and obviously be able to tell you what's going on in real time. So if you haven't already, guys, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and most importantly, if you guys could help share this out, help get the word out there by sharing this channel with friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, whoever, just to help keep people prepared. We're going to continue to give you guys updates and stuff like that. But once again, also like I mentioned, we also not only have that tornado threat, but also, damaging winds, ranging between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and of course hail, is a concern as well, between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. Let's see here. All right, yeah, we're gonna hop on back to models, y'all. We're gonna hop on back to the models, and we're gonna take a look back at the HRRR and stuff like that. So let's hop on over here to the Midwest, which we already have. So, like we mentioned, y'all, the timing of the storms here, we're going to start to see some of that convection, start to see some of that early thunderstorm activity happening here kind of in the afternoon, relatively, right around noon, maybe late morning, early afternoon. We're going to start to see some storms firing off here. We're actually going to see a pretty good amount of rainfall throughout places here in like Wisconsin and Iowa and like southeastern Minnesota. We're actually going to see a pretty good amount of rain out there because that's we have a lot of bulk of the rain on the top of that low. Being out there, it's going to cause maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches of rainfall to fall out in these regions here. But then you can kind of see that tail of severe, potential severe storms starting to develop here sometime in the, the early evening roughly, in which, you can see that line just grows and grows and grows as we continue to progress into the overnight hours. Now, the main threat, unfortunately, like I mentioned, is going to be kind of during the night, the late evening into the overnight hours. So we're going to have a hard time seeing any of these storms, like I mentioned. So don't wait to see or hear any like tornadic activity. If you're in a warning, you need to, seek shelter immediately. Obviously, So make sure you have a way to receive warnings. Like I said, I cannot stress that enough. Just make sure you have a way to know if you're in a warning or not. Most cell phones, if you haven't, keep the alerts on. Because there is on cell phones, they do have the built-in function to alarm you or to alert you, I should say, of any incoming weather, such as tornado warning. I don't think they do severe thunderstorm warnings, but I do think they do. Unless it's super crazy, then maybe they do severe thunderstorm warnings. But I do know that they do tornado warnings, so make sure you just keep that setting on. Let's see here. Robert says, sounds good. I'll keep eyes alert. Everyone stay safe. By the way, do I ever sleep? Yeah, I do. Of course I do. Let's see here. Very interested to see what the latest run of HRRR shows. Yeah, we have the new run coming out. The 0 Zulu. Where's it at now? To 25. Oh, there you go. So here's the latest run that's just now rendering. Let's see here. Yeah, kind of showing those storms firing off maybe around 22, 23 Zulu. So that would be like 4 p.m. roughly. 4 p.m. roughly. So yeah, definitely that's whenever the severe weather is gonna really probably start to fire off here. And like I said, going through like Kansas City roughly. Remember, take this with a grain of salt, but according to that we do have the line going through roughly around like 10 o'clock. Pretty sure like right around 10 o'clock p.m. or so. We'll be right there near Kansas City at that point. So. Once again, that's kind of just a little bit of an idea regarding the, the overall timing of the event. And like I said, another thing I want to go ahead and pull up here is like this, the instability. This is basically the fuel in the atmosphere to get the things going. You can see we have a lot of that thunderstorm juice, the fuel for the storms working their way up even into Wisconsin, which, like I mentioned, we do have that risk even in Wisconsin there, While it's not a super crazy risk or anything like that up in Wisconsin, but there is that threat, in the dark green there. So like southern, southwestern Wisconsin near Madison, we do have a little bit of a severe weather threat out here. But yeah, the instability, that thunderstorm juice does continue into, Wisconsin and obviously like central eastern Iowa, obviously Missouri and, Kansas and stuff like that. But on top of that, what's a little concerning, if I go ahead and kind of circle where a lot of that instability is at there, and if I overlay the lower level jet stream, you can see that the lower level jet is very strong. I don't like how strong this is. Like I mentioned, this is a 50 knot lower level jet stream. That is very strong. Actually, that's more towards like 55 knots or so, which that is very, very strong. Very, very strong lower level jet. of course, regarding like helicity and stuff like that. We're not going to get too much into detail because I know a lot of you guys don't really understand all this, but just trying to keep it simple, But whenever it comes to the ingredients, there's a lot of winds in the atmosphere, which is going to help contribute to the tornadic formation, and a lot of instability, which will, allow for those storms to fire off into that environment. So, yeah, it definitely does look like a pretty beefy setup overall. Like I said, for the first setup of I almost said spring, first setup of fall, it's pretty crazy. It's like I said, I have kind of an eerie feeling in some of the areas out here, especially eastern Kansas. Near Topeka, should probably really watch out. I mean, you guys are in the enhanced risk out there, but only time will tell. Once again, we'll be live to cover this, during the event, so we'll be able to tell you guys what's happening in real time, so you won't be blind. So just like I said, if you haven't already, consider subscribing, leaving a like. It would be greatly appreciated. That way you guys can stay weather aware, of course, stay up to date, and once again, we'll be covering this all throughout tomorrow. What's up, Quentin? Got it back online. Awesome. Do you know what happened to it? What's up, Darian? Hope you're doing good. Could there be a regional tornado outbreak? 10% risk could definitely indicate several tornadoes. For it to be a tornado outbreak, I don't know. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Now, I consider a severe weather outbreak being likely tomorrow, meaning like, kind of a mixture between tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds overall. But tornado outbreak, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that 10% is, it's a pretty good size, but it's nothing super wild, essentially there. It's nothing super large, I should say. While the 10% risk for tornadoes is pretty good, pretty high risk, not a high risk, but a pretty high, tornado risk. It's the size of it's not super wild. Let's see. There's some even tonight. A bunch of cars are parked in front of the building, so I think that blocked reception. So I want to restart it, and it was good. Oh, wow. Gotcha. Got you. What time am I going live tomorrow? Probably sometime around, I'm going to say 5 p.m. Eastern, maybe. Let's see your facts. Thank you so much, dude, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Let's see. Daughter has a gym from 6 p.m. to 8. Is she safe? 66007. Got you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate your support, man. You did not have to do all that. Let's see. 66007. Gotcha. Let's see. Is that the right zip code? Because it's... Oh, here we go. Kansas. Sorry. The first 4 results were Russia for some reason. Okay, so this is out there by like western Kansas City, basically here in eastern Kansas. So you said between 6 and 8 p.m. So it looks like the storms are going to be rolling through here. Let's actually overlay the radar here, or the future radar from HRRR. So let's go ahead and overlay that data for you. Should already be on there. All right, cool. So between 6 and 8, it looks like... Here, that's not fully done rendering. We're going to have to drop to 18.0 here. But yeah, it'll probably be around that time whenever we do get that storm. So it looks like, yeah, so this is right at 6 o'clock. Remember, take this with a grain of salt. Don't take this too seriously. But, whenever it comes to it here, we do have maybe 2 lines according to HRRR. Once again, there's no way of being 100% for sure until the event happens. But, you can kind of see there that we do have some storms rolling through. That's at 6 p.m. roughly, and the event looks like the main line will be rolling through between probably like 9 and I know this says 10 o'clock. That's Eastern time, so this will be between probably like 9 and like 10 o'clock potentially. Will be when the main line could go through. Remember, don't take that super seriously. It'll be right around the time overall. It will be right around the time whenever she does go to the gym. So, like I said, we'll also be covering this tomorrow, facts. So whenever the event does kick off, we'll be able to give you some real-time information and be able to literally tell you what's going on, okay? So stay tuned. I appreciate your support, though, once again. And like I said, the timing will be right around probably when she's at the gym, unfortunately. Let's see here. XM says, hello, Andrew. Looks like you have a great setup you have there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. What's up, Ohio? Doing good. Let's see here. A lot of us here in southern Oklahoma got a free education on tornadic activity, but rather not go for a PhD. a lot of you guys out there probably grow. I wonder if y'all schools talk about that. Like whenever you growing up, I wonder if your schools talked about like severe weather and like I don't know. That's interesting. I never really thought about that, but let's see here. Storms roll through right around 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the timing, like I said, is still a little bit iffy. We'll see, though. We'll see. Anyways, all right, let's hop on back up here to models, y'all. We're gonna take a look at that. Once again, we'll be doing zip codes here in a little bit, you guys. You know, I want to get to the point where we do zip codes. I just kind of want to talk about the event a little bit first before, just kind of give you all a general overview and stuff like that a couple times before we, dive into zip codes and stuff like that. But we'll get there eventually, you guys. So like we mentioned, the storms are going to start to kick off, as a bunch of, kind of probably non-severe storms, sometime around tomorrow afternoon. Starting there towards like eastern Nebraska, towards like eastern Kansas and stuff like that. And like we mentioned, there's going to be a pretty good amount of heavy rainfall that's going to be falling up there towards, eastern Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota. They're towards like Wisconsin and stuff. But we do bring up our overall precipitation accumulation, and you can see a pretty good amount of rainfall. It could be possible out there towards, like Iowa. Now, obviously, I know that's really good because, you guys have been very dry. A lot of you guys have been very dry out here, in which, that could help aid, maybe breaking down that drought a little bit. But yeah, you can see there we do have, good maybe 2-3 inches or so according to HRRR. NAM here, on the other hand, showing that rainfall a little bit more northerly, but a streak of a good 3 inches or so. So pretty good amount of rainfall out of that. Anyways, but hopping back to all of that, potential and everything like that. Like we mentioned, there could even be a little bit of snow on the backside of the storm here. We're going to have to watch that. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. It'll probably be heavy snow. It will be heavy, but let's see. What about surface temperature? We're going to be mostly above freezing, so it's going to have a harder time sticking, considering that a lot of surfaces are still relatively warm overall. So probably going to be a little bit hard for it to stick. The first place it's going to stick is in the grass, but we'll see. Regardless, probably not a lot of anything super wild regarding that. But you'll probably see your first bit of snow out there, possibly. So, let's see here. Oklahoma needs rain badly. Yeah, you guys really do. A lot of you guys do. Absolutely. Here, let's move this over here. But anyways, see, I'm in northeast Oklahoma. There are wildfires near my area. Yeah, be safe out there. Yeah, there has been a lot of wildfires because it's been pretty, pretty dry, and then plus, like I said, those winds have been pretty wild. We take a look over here towards. Let's go and bring this up real quickly. We'll go ahead and bring up our, where is it? Surface and our wind gusts here. Here we go. Yeah, so you can see it. It's definitely been very, very windy out there, and it's going to continue to be tomorrow as well. Not associated with the storms, we're going to have winds, ahead of that front, being a good maybe 50-mile-an-hour wind gust or so. It's going to be very windy even ahead of that frontal system. Maddie, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. Wants me to take a look at 66407. Got you, my friend. Let's see here. 66407. You are in Kansas, my friend. Okay, so you are up here just west of Kansas City. Okay, so here's the thing, my friend. You are in the hatch risk for tornadoes, so you're kind of, I hate to say it, but you're kind of in the biggest risk for tornadic activity tomorrow. Once again, the odds of you specifically getting a tornado is still fairly low, but I do want you to be on alert tomorrow and watching the storm because, there's going to be the potential for a couple tornadoes nearby. And, like we mentioned, the storms are going to be happening sometime in the late afternoon into the evening. The storm should be out by midnight, easily. It should be out by midnight. It looks like the storms are going to probably start firing off here once again, maybe around or towards your area, I should say, right around maybe 5 or 6 o'clock, roughly. So take that with a grain of salt. Once again, models they ain't perfect with the timing here, but risk-wise, I mean, yeah, you're in a pretty solid risk, for severe weather, and like I said, tornadic risk. And of course, on top of that, we do have a 30% chance for damaging winds. So on the line of storms that's going to be rolling through in the afternoon and the evening, the line will be capable of producing damaging winds around 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So it's going to be pretty gusty on that line, regardless, tornadoes or not. It is going to be pretty windy, in which, we could be gusting into severe status, maybe a good 60 or 70 like we were talking about out there. In terms of hail, like we mentioned here with the hail threat, I mean, we have a 15% risk out there for hail. We're talking a good maybe 1 to 2 inches in diameter, regarding the hail size potentially. So, you got to look out for those other things as well. And like I said, rainfall, accumulation-wise, I know a lot of you guys have been dry out here for sure. But rainfall, accumulations and stuff like that's probably not going to be anything significant. I mean, you'll probably maybe see at most a half an inch or so, maybe a little bit locally higher. I mean, we'll have to see, but yeah, that's kind of where we're standing there. But hopefully that helped out a bit. Once again, just keep an eye out there for it. Unfortunately, like I said, you're kind of in some of the heat of the event here, in which we'll definitely need to be weather aware out there. Yeah, keep an eye on the warnings and stuff like that tomorrow. Once again, make sure you have a way to receive those warnings. Make sure that you have your setting turned on your phone. That way, it'll give you alerts and stuff like that. If you turned it off, make sure you turn it on. That way, you can have that. Or if you have a weather radio or something like that, that'll be very useful. And like I said, we'll even be covering this tomorrow, so we'll be able to talk about it in real time. Let's see here. But anyways, we'll definitely need to be looking out for other hazards than just tornadoes too. You got to remember that. Let's see here. These winds expect in February/March. They've been blowing terrible here in Oklahoma. Yeah, they're pretty strong. Yeah, they're pretty strong. It's like I said, it's that northerly air advection that we have going on out there right now. It's that really strong air coming up from the south, bringing up all that moisture from the Gulf, which is really setting up for this event to kick off here. Absolutely. In which, you can really see those storms firing off here. Once again, sometime in the evening, the evening or so. That's whenever the storms are expected to fire off. And then this thing turns into a pretty good-sized squall line. I mean, the tail even going all the way down towards Texas. And then into the overnight hours, it might even extend maybe a little bit further towards central Texas. We'll have to see. Let's see. Brian wants me to take a look at 43004. Got it. Let's go and hop on back here. See, 43004. This is for Ohio. Okay, Ohio's fine. We don't got anything going on tomorrow for Ohio. I don't think. Is Halloween risk? Yeah, Halloween risk is not included. Yeah, Ohio's good. Yeah, there's really no area in Ohio that's going to see severe weather out of this, except for far western potential. Even then, it's a pretty low marginal risk out there. In which, for Halloween, maybe some storms could roll through. It's possible. But severe weather-wise for Ohio is pretty low. Let's see. I measure wind by how many shingles my roof loses. Wow. Yeah, winds like this could do it. Absolutely. I mean, even those northerly winds that are coming through right now that's really windy could, once again, we're gusting up towards 50 in some spots. I mean, it's been very, very windy. Let's see if we can pull up some MEDAR here. See what these local stations are showing us. We'll see wind speeds. We're going to have to pull up radar for that, actually. So let's pull up Oklahoma to see what we got going on here. Near Norman, we're gusting 33. That's pretty windy. Let's try up towards Kansas here. 29. Gusting to 40. Yeah, so we're gusting. We've been gusting towards 40 and 50 throughout the day. That northerly winds. Once again, basically what's going on here is just we have all of that moisture and all of that air just getting shot up into the country, supplying it with warmth. That's why you're noticing it's pretty warm, a lot warmer than it has been, and a lot more moisture filled than it has been. The humidity is higher. It's been very, very, it's definitely been very dry out here for that high pressure ridge that we've had for the longest time ever. Yeah, it's certainly been pretty interesting. Let's see here. Seems like the line of storms will weakens the early morning on Thursday. Yeah, so it'll start to run out of a bit of instability as we kind of progress into the morning of Halloween. You can kind of see here how we go from an environment with a pretty good amount of instability. We're talking over 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability. Pretty solid amount of energy. Once that starts to kick off, and you can see as we approach our way kind of into the early, that's actually a little bit more than what the models used to say. So maybe some storms still going off down south, but definitely not as much instability. About 5, maybe 600, 700 joules instead of like over 1,000, 1,500 in some spots. So, yeah. Let's see here. All right. Let's do a couple zip codes here for you guys. William wants me to take a look at 65240. Like I said, we're going to do some personal zip codes. That way we can help keep you guys weather aware, and I can help you guys out with just knowing your risk and stuff. 65240. 65240. Oh, 65240. We are in Missouri, my friend. Okay, you're in a marginal. Got a level 1 threat, so you're not in the big stuff, but you're in the chance for a couple strong to maybe severe storms out there. Here, let's first of all move this back to the models. So yeah, you're actually out there in that 2% tornado risk, that 5% wind risk, and that 5% hail risk. So, the odds of you getting that severe weather is pretty low. Let's see here. I love how comparable the stick bug is to modeled thermo and wind data. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely. Yeah, I was actually looking at that data. So my friend Bush here in the chat, he has a mesonet, a mobile mesonet. We call it the stick bug. He has the data up right now. This is up in eastern Missouri. You can see that those winds are northerly right now. It's those lower level winds really kicking up there. We've been gusting pretty high on the station today. We've had some wind gusts up to like 33 miles an hour roughly. Let's see here. Certainly been very windy out there. You can really see that. But yeah, shout out goes to Quentin for all the help on my station too. He's a good man. If you want to take a look at the data, you can see it right here. Here's the website. What I could do even is this. If you want to watch this data up in Missouri, we could throw that down there for you guys. That way y'all can kind of see what's going on in real time out there. It's near St. Louis. But anyways, yeah, I mean, but for that area we were just looking at, yeah, just marginalized, low end severe. So, should be relatively low end. Still keep an eye on it though. Even like I said, these marginal risks can produce severe weather overall. Let's see here. What's up, Haley? Hope you're doing good. All right, we're gonna do another. We have Misty here. We're gonna get to Misty. Zip code here of 63334. It's a lot of threes. See out there in Missouri. Yeah, so same thing applies to this area too. We do have that that marginal risk out there, that level 1 severe weather threat. So once again, not a super duper high risk for severe weather, but there is a chance for a couple of strong to severe storms nearby. So definitely want to keep that in mind. The tornado threat still persists, so there still could be a couple isolated tornadoes nearby overall. Like we mentioned here, the damaging wind probability, we do have a 5% chance out there for damaging wind gusts, ranging between 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts potentially out in some of these regions here. And of course, hail, 5% chance out there. Railfan says you have 2. Okay, we'll get through those here for you, man. No problem. 64069. 64069 here for, this is not a zip code. It's not popping up on my side here. unfortunately. I'll try your other one, though. 68025. 68025. This one pops up, though. So this area here is kind of just outside of that risk area overall. Yeah, we take a look at the overall risk. They're kind of outside of the severe weather. So probably not going to see much severe weather action. That's probably going to be mostly to your south. However, there's going to be a pretty good amount of rain out of this event here for you guys. You know, we were watching that. You know, we're going to see a pretty good amount of rain out there, up there towards like eastern Nebraska and stuff like that. You know, in the early part of the storm, you can see that there's a pretty good amount of precipitation, which, you know, could give us maybe a couple inches of rainfall in some spots, which, you know, would certainly be pretty good. You know, would help out with those really dry conditions that we have out there right now. It's definitely been pretty brutal, you know, with all of that and stuff. So, but yeah, you know, we'll just keep an eye on that. But yeah, there's not really any severe weather expected out there for that region. Most of that's just going to be to your south. Let's see here. How bad is it going to be in Dallas? So Dallas does have a level 2 threat. You know, we've got that 5% chance for tornadoes. You know, so a couple isolated tornadoes could be possible nearby. You know, so we'll have to look out for that. Make sure you, like I said, make sure you have a way to receive warnings. I cannot say that enough today. 5% chance for tornadoes. You know, we got that 15% chance for damaging wind. You know, the gust out of this line that's going to roll through, we could be gusting in the range of maybe around like 60 to 70 miles an hour. Definitely could be pretty windy out there with that line going through. In terms of hail, you know, we got a 15% chance as well for hail, 1 to 2 inches in diameter overall. So, let's see. All right, BP, we got you. Let's see here, 65616. Gotcha. 65616. Gotcha, Missouri. You, my friend, are in the marginal. At least for hail. Let's see here. Yeah, so you're right on the edge of that level 1 threat. You're not far from the slight, though. You know, you're right on the edge of the slight there. So storms are going to happen pretty late out there. You know, it's going to take a little bit of time. The instability is going to be a little bit weaker by the time the line gets to you, but there still will be the potential for severe weather out of it, of course. So keep an eye out there for that. Tornado probs, you know, 5% chance, or sorry, 2% chance out there near the 5. So keep an eye out there for that. That could change tomorrow. We're going to do another live stream tomorrow before the event, more than likely. Actually, we'll probably do one really early tomorrow morning for you guys, really early. And I'm going to get some sleep during most of the morning tomorrow because, like I said, my sleep schedule's a little messed up right now, which is good, actually, because I can stay up overnight to cover this. So I'm probably going to do another live stream later tonight, maybe, to do you know, give you guys another update on there. But we'll probably do that one on shorts. But also, you know, winds on this area here, you know, 5% chance out there for 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gust potential, and of course hail. We got a 5% risk as well. Let's see here. Yeah, no problem, Misty. No problem at all. Let's see. I'm in the enhanced risk. Be careful out there, man. Voodoo wants me to take a look at 64424. 64424. Gotcha, my friend. All right, so Missouri. All right, so we got ourselves a. Let's see here. You're actually, yeah, you're in a slight risk out there, that level 2 threat. Level 2 threat, tornado probs, 5% chance. So, you know, within 25 miles of your area, there's a 5% chance a tornado could drop within that region. So, you know, odds are pretty low, but still, keep an eye out there for it. You know, if there's any warnings that get issued, you know what to do. Take action. Do not ignore them. And of course, we have hail. 15% chance for ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So. Let's see. How can Wisconsin go from severe weather risk on Wednesday to a chance of snow on Thursday? How does that work? So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple system here, which we'll show you. So basically what happens is, you know, you need to understand the big picture because what is going on here is we have an area of low pressure, right? The winds go, you know, counterclockwise in a low pressure system in the northern hemisphere. So all of this warm air is coming up from the south, right? So all this warm air is coming up from the south, you know, supplying moisture and warmth. And actually what's happening is we're having the air come from Canada on the backside bringing in some cooler air on the backside. So that's, we have that line where those two intersect, with the warm air pulling up from the south and the cold air coming down, or coming around from the north. And then that intersection point, that's your cold front. That's where we're having those severe weather, or those severe storms going off out there. And the reason why it's doing that is because, you're going from one side of the low pressure system to the other. So ahead of it, you're going to get that warmth, and then as it rolls through, you're going to get that cooler backside air. So that's why basically, we have, a bit of, you can see that cold front there. You can see where the storm activity would be. And then on the backside, where that cooler air is coming in from Canada, it turns it into snow. So while you're ahead, you get the warmer air, and then on the backside, you get the cooler air. Does that make sense? That's why it changes so quickly, because that low just zips on by. So hopefully that makes some form of sense. All right, Gordon, got you, man. Let's go and hop over back to our thing here. We're going to do another zip code here for you. Gordon wants me to take a look at 74006. Got you, my friend. You're in Oklahoma. So yeah, you are in the enhanced risk, which is the big threat for tomorrow. Keep an eye out there for that. Tornado probability is a 10% chance, which, like I said, there's a 10% chance of a tornado developing within 25 miles of your area. So keep that in mind. In terms of damaging winds, we have a 30% chance out there, so that's a pretty good probability. Then, of course, we have the hail threat, where we do have a 15% chance of hail, ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So that's kind of where we're standing here. So yeah, definitely want to be weather aware tomorrow. And like I said, the timing of the storms and everything like that for this region. Once again, take this lightly. Don't take this too seriously, because the model's ain't perfect with the timing and all. But let's see, we're gonna have to hop back to 18 Zulu. This software hasn't finished rendering it yet. Here we go. So according to the models, right around 10 p.m. roughly. 10 p.m. roughly is whenever the storm could roll through out there. So we'll have to watch that. We'll definitely keep an eye out there for it. So keep y'all weather aware. What's up, Weather to Go? Hope you're doing good, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. No problem, Jared. You're very welcome. Like I said, I'm glad to help out, of course. Let's see here. Rail fences, it's odd that the zip code didn't work, because I put it in Google Maps and it pulled up. For some reason, it didn't for me. 64069. Let's see. I'll do it one more time. 64069. Yeah, see, for me, it pulls up Singapore and Brazil. So I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, it could be just the program itself, which more than likely it is. But anyways, want to take my awning down? Yes, good idea. Yeah, good idea to take that awning down, because like I mentioned, we're getting some really strong winds out here. It's that northerly, that northerly air advection that we're getting right now, really ripping up those lower level winds. It's going to continue to be that way, throughout tomorrow as well. So, yeah, that's something we need to look for. We're going to hop the models again real quickly, so I can show you guys the wind gusts and stuff like that. It's definitely been very, very windy. Let's see here. It still is pretty windy out in some of those regions there. It's calmed down a little bit, since we've turned to nighttime. Things have calmed down a little bit, but then tomorrow it's going to go right back up to it again, in which we're going to be seeing, good maybe 30, 40 plus mile an hour wind gusts out there. It's certainly going to be pretty, pretty windy still. And like I said, even before the storms happen, you're still going to notice those winds being pretty strong, along with warm air. And then once that cold front rolls through, then you're going to notice it gets a lot cooler, because, we're getting that backside cooler air from up north. So just crazy, just how quick things change with these systems here. Let's see here. But anyways. But like I said, you guys, we'll be here to help y'all out. If you guys have any, questions or anything like that, feel free to throw them down in the chat. We're going to go ahead and hop our way back over here to the radar, future radar here. So like I mentioned, this is the new 0 Zulu HRRR. This is the brand new run that we just got coming out here, or just finished rendering here. So like we mentioned, there's going to be a good amount of rainfall to fall out there towards like Iowa, Wisconsin, portions of Minnesota, with the storm here. A little bit of thunder will be involved in this, but maybe some marginally lower severe weather could be included in that, that front there. But this is good. This little chunk here, this is going to be bringing a good amount of rainfall. What's going to maybe 2-3 locally higher amounts, inches potentially in some of those regions there. Now, whenever it comes to it, you can see there that the main line starts to fire off here, roughly around, this shows like 21 Zulu. So that would be pretty much like kind of late afternoon, right around that time, late afternoon or so, between probably like 3 and 5 p.m. or so, roughly around the central time zone. It's probably when those storms will really start going. Possibly going there towards, Kansas City, roughly, timing. Once again, take that lightly because, these models ain't perfect after all. But let's see here. So that would be, so 04 would be midnight Eastern, so that would be 11 p.m. So this would be right around 10 o'clock p.m. roughly when the storms go towards Kansas City, according to the HRRR here. Yeah, a matter of fact, instead of doing all the crazy math, I literally have another program that has it right here. So might as well just use that instead. All right. Rail fan, I don't know the town name, man. I'm not sure. I don't know what the town name is. It's considered a part of the okay, so it's part of Kansas City. Well, that gives me enough information to go off of. So part of Kansas City. Yeah, we do got that level 3 threat out there. Pretty good shot for severe weather overall. Tornado probability. The Western KC Metro has a 10% chance. So keep an eye out, with further outlooks that that could shift a little bit more to the east or to the west. We'll have to see. But we do got a 10% chance along the western side. So 10% chance of some tornadic activity happening out there. So we'll definitely need to look at that. In terms of damaging winds, we got that 30% for all of Kansas City. Yeah, so there's going to be a shot for some 30% chance of damaging winds within 25 miles of a given area. So if I was to do a little bit of a radius here, we're going to make a little circle. So this is a 25 mile radius right there. Good enough. So that's 25 mile by 25 miles. So it's just a big old 25 mile radius right around central Kansas City. So what this basically is saying here is that we do have a 30% chance of damaging winds consisting of at least 60 to 70 miles an hour occurring in this region. A 30% chance. That's roughly about a 1 in 3 shot, roughly. Kind of puts into perspective, of the probability here. So, 30% is still a pretty chunky percentage of seeing some damaging winds. So keep it out there for that. And honestly, I haven't really mentioned this yet, but what's a really good idea is that you guys, honestly could prepare for this tonight or just by tomorrow, by tomorrow morning. Just bring in any loose objects, anything that could easily be thrown around in the winds and all that stuff, just bring all that stuff in, bring in the loose objects, things that could go airborne and all that and stuff that's fragile, bring all that stuff indoors until the line goes through and then you should be good to put it back out. That way you don't, first of all, lose your property, but also, second of all, it doesn't become a hazard to others. So, yeah, if you could, that would be the best. And just make sure if you have anything outside, make sure it's secured down if you're going to leave it overall. Let's see here. So are the most bad storms on the southern end? No. No, most of the worst of the storms are going to be kind of on the mid and northern end. Of the event, because that's right where the instability and the wind shear kind of have the best ratio. So for example, if I hop you guys back over here, and obviously we had that line really going down to the south, our highest instability, actually in this case, is kind of out there towards that central northern part of the line. Or actually, a lot of the instability is pretty strong down south too. But what the strongest wind shear is where I was getting at is where the northern part is. So the best mixing is between that heavy pocket of instability here and that super strong lower level jet out there. So that's where some of the strongest is going to be, and that's out there by like eastern Kansas and stuff like that. So, if we hop on back over here to the overall view here, we do have, like I said, northeastern Oklahoma, eastern kind of portions of Kansas, and like a little sliver of northwestern Missouri there too. Do I think we'll have a moderate? I don't think so, personally. No, I mean, obviously I don't know for sure, but I really don't think so. I think we're going to stick with our enhancer that we got. Let's see here. Let's see if I missed any questions here, but anyways, yeah, like I said, you guys, if you have any questions here, if there's any place you want me to take a look at, we'll be here to help you all out. Like I mentioned, tomorrow we're going to need to really be on alerts. We're definitely going to need to be watching the weather very, very closely, as like I mentioned, it's going to be pretty pretty active. We also do have the tropics that we're watching too. We got another system that we're paying attention to down here. We do got ourselves a 40% chance of overall development. So right now things are kind of low, but we'll keep an eye on that area, as there's two different hypothetical scenarios. Some of the models suggest it going west, and some of it suggest it going to the east. That's about all I can tell you right now. Literally, that's about it. So we'll get to that whenever it becomes a little bit more clear on what it's going to do. But yeah, let's hop on back over here to the models again, y'all. We're gonna take a look back at some of the model runs. So once again, there's HRRR showing that line really, really creeping through there. So at this point in time, I mean, even before, like I mentioned, even before the line, the cold front hits you, we're gonna be having a lot of strong, fast-moving, warm, northerly moving air, basically. That's one way to say it. It's basically just strong northerly advection. So a lot of that strong air, moisture-rich air from the south is going to be really cranking its way to the north. And you're going to notice how the, basically you're going to notice how strong the winds are going to even be ahead of that cold front. Before you get that line of storms, it's still going to be very windy. That's basically all that warm air rushing into the system, just, keeping it moisture-fed. So that's something you're going to notice. And then once the line passes, I mean, obviously you're going to know when the storm hit. It's going to be pretty windy more than likely once that storm hits. But on the back end, on the back side of the storm here, that's whenever cooler air from up north is going to start creeping down. So you're going to notice a big change from the warm to the cold in a pretty short period of time. If we take a look here at the temperatures, ahead of the cold front and behind the cold front, I mean, you can really just see how much of a differential there is in temperatures. First of all, you can see this is like after midnight. This is 06 Zulu. This is roughly around 1 a.m. or so Central Time. In which you can see though that ahead of the cold front, your cold front's right there. You can see that line. Ahead of the cold front, temperatures are going to be in the 70s, lower 70s maybe, and then behind the cold front, we're going to be in the 40s. So you can really see just the dynamics of how these systems work just based off of the temperatures alone. You can see that cold air coming down from up north due to the counterclockwise rotation of these low pressure systems here. And then of course we have that warm air coming up from the south, which is bringing up a lot of warm and moisture-filled air. So on the back side, it's cooler and dry air. On the front, it's warmer and moisture-filled air. So it's like complete polar opposites, and that creates a large amount of instability, from that gradient there. But yeah, I mean, you can see it's definitely going to get definitely going to be quite a temperature change here. I mean, you're definitely going to notice that. I mean, even during the day here for a Halloween, I mean, max temperature is going to be near probably the 50s up in northern Missouri. I mean, it's going to be noticeably colder. It's actually going to be a pretty cold Halloween for quite a bit of people, especially to my folks who live up there towards like Wisconsin. There might even be a snowy Halloween for some of you guys out there. as you can see here, right there towards like northern Wisconsin, according to the HRRR, the model we're looking at here, there could even be a little bit of snow, falling during Halloween. So that's that. And by the time that cold front's going to be much more decayed, and the severe weather is going to be much more suppressed due to the fact that we have less wind shear, instability dies down a little bit, not as available. Kind of uses up a lot of that energy, but there will possibly be some snow on the backside of that system there. So definitely need to look out for that. Let's see here. What's up, LWX saying, just got on. Has anything changed for St. Louis? So not really. St. Louis, as of now, we do got that level 1 marginal. Nothing super wild, but we do have a 2% tornado risk out there. I don't know last time you saw it. I don't think this was here yesterday. But 2% chance for tornadoes towards St. Louis, 5% wind, 5% hail. So as you may or may not know, a 2% is pretty low tornado probability. But there still will be the possibility for a couple isolated tornadoes around eastern Missouri, which could ultimately lead near St. Louis. We'll have to see. By the time here, the line will be a little bit weaker by the time it gets to you, thankfully. But yeah. So, like I said, the only big thing is that we have that tornado threat really expanded to the east here since yesterday, including a pretty good chunk of Illinois, pretty good size of Illinois, a lot of the state there. And, maybe even a little bit of tornadic activity as far to the north as like southern Wisconsin even. Maybe a little bit of tornadic activity out there. So that's something we need to look out there for too. Is maybe even some tornadoes up as far north as Wisconsin, as far down south as Texas out there. How many inches or how much snow do you think Wisconsin could get? So temperatures are going to be basically above freezing. They're going to be mostly above freezing, so we're not going to get much. We're not going to get any sticking on like roads or anything like that, more than likely. But on the grass, we could pick up a little bit of snowfall overall, according to some of the models. We could pick up maybe a good 6 inches or so, maybe towards like northern Wisconsin. Well, that's still a little unknown. I mean, if we hop back to the models here, it's still a little iffy on the snow accumulations. I mean, here's HRRR, the latest Zero Zulu run, showing somewhere up to a foot, maybe in some spots, but look how much it changes. Here's RAP. A little bit more to the west here, and only up, some pockets, the heaviest, nearly a foot, but and of course we have NAM here. NAM shows a lot, actually. NAM shows over a foot in some regions of like western Wisconsin. So you can kind of see that the snow is all over the place here. Here's GFS, which shows not a whole lot for Wisconsin, but more for Minnesota. So we really don't know, to be honest with you, how much snow we're going to get. But like I mentioned, even then, the temperature is going to be fairly above freezing, as you can kind of see here. Most of it's going to be like 30, 34 degrees or so. Who knows? I mean, there could be some small pockets of sub-freezing or freezing or sub-freezing. We'll have to see. Maybe. But honestly, that's just one of those scenarios where the models are so much in disagreement. It's like, who knows? Honestly. We'll see. It's very difficult system to forecast. Snow is, in my opinion, one of the hardest things to forecast, especially in an event like this where there's so much working parts and stuff like that. What's up, James? Hope you're doing good, man. But anyways, let's see here. How likely is southeast Iowa to get hit by severe storms? We do got a marginal, which is equivalent to a 5% chance of seeing severe weather. But overall for Iowa, it's a pretty good possibility. We hop our way back over here to the SPC outlook here for tomorrow. You can actually see here that we do have marginal throughout a lot of Iowa, except for northwestern, but central and eastern. Southern portions of Iowa, we do have that marginal risk in place. Tornado probs, like I mentioned, we do have the potential for a couple isolated tornadoes, being possible out there. It is a possibility. So we'll have to we'll have to look out for that, in which, a couple tornadoes could even be possible as high north. A tornado or two could be as possible as high north as like southern Wisconsin even. So tornado risk is pretty broad. I mean, it covers a large distance. I mean, all the way from like kind of north central Texas all the way up here to southern Wisconsin and that. But for Iowa, 2% chance for tornadoes, 5% chance for damaging wind gusts, ranging basically between, like we mentioned, 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts being possible overall, and then hail, 5% chance as well, with a 1 to 2 inches in diameter overall. James, I know, man, I know. Actually, I've been doing my hair, except for today. It's one of the days I did not do it. But I totally agree, man. I do need to get a new haircut. Absolutely. Looks like a mop right now, doesn't it? Let's see here. What do I think could stop storms from being discrete? Well, like I mentioned, this is going to be like a long squall line, which is a long line of storms. Now, the reason is because we have this cold front. A big long line of a source of lift with a lot of moisture and instability all in a single line. So that's going to kind of keep it all just one long line of storms overall. And so, yeah, like I mentioned, some of the models, they did support maybe a couple of, like, in the early events, maybe a couple semi-discrete supercells, possibly, but I mean, we'll see how that goes. I mean, obviously, there's no way to be for sure until the event happens. I mean, no model is perfect enough to be for sure. Of course. I mean, even HRRR has its moments. I mean, I've seen several events where HRRR is dead wrong, and I've seen where it's also dead right. I mean, like I said, it's just there's no way of being for sure. But I mean, here's the latest Zero Zulu. I mean, you can kind of see an early event here. There could be maybe a couple semi-discrete storms. I mean, not necessarily fully connected in a chain. That'll probably, that will happen later we go, turn into that long line of storms. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see how that goes. Let's see here. Looks like the NAM nest has downtrended. Has it? I really haven't paid attention to NAM nest. To be honest, NAM is pretty interesting. Well, honestly, not a whole lot different from HRRR, let's be honest. NAM nest, I've always noticed, does like to pull linear events more than not. Which, this event will be a linear event. I don't know, it looks pretty similar for the most part to like HRRR here. Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's pretty much pretty similar. Maybe a little bit weaker up north, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, once again, that just comes down to the models. Let's look at the snow though on on NAM nest here. Yeah, so NAM nest does show a bit of snow as well, happening. Out there maybe towards like Minneapolis area, could see maybe a bit of snow. That seems like a good possibility because, like I said, as that low pressure system over here rips its way to the northeast, we're going to have that colder air coming in from the north with all that moisture that's kind of wrapping around that low and ending up on the backside. It's also going to be mixing with that cold air, which would change the precip type to snow. Seems like that's very common in the models here. I mean, seems like the models are all on board with that happening. I mean, you can see we just scrolled through 4 different models there, 5 different models. Yeah, absolutely. It looks very, very, very possible, very likely at this point. But like I said, exactly knowing how much we're going to get out of this, it's like, I don't know. It's still a little iffy. But let's see here. Ponderosa says gaming stream. Not tonight, since we got severe weather heading our way here. Don't really post on the gaming channel because we got some things that we need to talk about regarding weather. Let's see. Could Ladysmith, Wisconsin see anything rain on Wednesday? Well, Wisconsin in general on Wednesday could see some rain. Absolutely. Just a lot of Wisconsin will likely see rain between Wednesday and Thursday. So, yeah, quite likely. Quite likely. Like I said, a lot of you folks out here really do need the rain. Absolutely. I mean, it's been very, very dry out in a lot of these places here. All right, we're gonna hop back to simulated reflectivity here, but yeah, and if we hop over back to the dew point and stuff like that, the dew point temp. Obviously, like I mentioned, it's been very, very dry previous to this event here. Oh, look at that triple point right there. That is. Look how wow! Look how difference of dew point. That is crazy. Look at that little point there. Goodness. Yeah, I'd watch out on that triple point there too. Wow, dude. Yeah, look at that. The dry line is wild on that. We go from like 10, 15 dew points to like lower 60s in like 50 miles or so. That's pretty crazy, dude. Goodness. If we look at humidity, I bet we can really see it. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Wow, dude. That is a well-defined. Well-defined. Let's see here. But anyways. But like I said, you guys, if you guys have any questions here about, what's going on here, feel free to let us know. Here's the plan, you guys. We're going to end up doing another live stream tonight. It's going to be like an overnight live stream. So for the people who's up late, we're not going to do it on our main platform here like we're doing right now, but we're going to do it on our YouTube Shorts, which is the same channel, but just on YouTube Short platform. So we'll be doing that for you guys. I'm going to stream as much as I can from now until the event and then for the events as well. Just to help, spread that word and just to help keep y'all as informed as possible. So, but that's the goal here, is just to keep y'all weather aware and prepared and stuff like that. But yeah, so here's, like I said, if you guys are just tuning in here, we got a level 3 threat out here, an enhanced risk, which is a pretty good shot for severe weather. The main concern here for severe weather, the biggest threat by far, is going to be up here like towards northeastern Oklahoma, out there towards like eastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri here, and like southeastern Nebraska. So we will obviously be covering this. Once again, the timing of the storms here is going to be kicking off here sometime in the afternoon. According to HRRR, it looks like maybe around 3 or 4 o'clock. 3 or 4 o'clock Central Time could be whenever the storms fire off here. It's a little, once again, it's still a little iffy to be for sure, but yeah, the worst of the event's going to be between like 3 p.m. Central and like midnight is probably when like the main event's going to happen. And in which you can see though the the event will even continue into overnight hours, well past midnight there. So we'll have to look out, because I mean they do have the marginal risk even up there towards, look at the timing. It's like 7 a.m. Eastern, so it's like 6 a.m. Central. So severe weather is going to be the worst during the late afternoon, going through the evening into the early overnight hours, and then that's when it's going to start to dwindle down, but still potentially severe at that point as well. Let's see here. I'll be up getting my camera roll ready. Nice. Yeah, be careful out there, man. Like I said, these events you don't really want to mess around with, because first of all, like I mentioned, the timing of the event is going to be at nighttime, which is going to make it difficult, if not impossible, to be able to see. And of course, we have the fact that these tornadoes that we could get are going to be embedded in like rain wrapped, basically meaning that the tornadoes themselves are going to be wrapped in curtains of rain, making it like impossible to see. Like I said, with the fact of it being nighttime too. So that's just a big issue that I see. that's why we're definitely going to be covering this tomorrow. I want to be here for you guys for this one. This is definitely going to be an event to watch, to be preparing for. And like I mentioned, speaking of preparations and stuff like that, it's like I said, it's if you can bring in any loose objects that you have that could easily be flown around. That is something that we need to look out for. So bring in your loose objects, anything that could easily be blown away or, blown around outside. Just make sure that you bring all that stuff in. And obviously whenever the cold front passes and, after all that stuff, then at that point, then you can, bring your stuff back out and set it back out. But just, some of the things you just got to think of like that. Because not only would you be losing your property potentially and would it be damaging your property, but it could also be a threat to people who's, somewhere else, because that stuff can go flying in these winds. Like I said, the wind threat here, we got that 30%, that 30% wind threat out there in the red, indicating 30% chance of damaging winds within 25 miles of a given area, in which, that could be ranging, like I said, 60 to 70 miles an hour wind gusts related. So that will definitely be pretty strong winds. That's like upper tropical storm force winds. It's definitely enough to cause some damage and stuff like that. But then, like I said, we do have the hail, which is 15% chance out there in the yellow, 5% chance across the brown, which, hail size, we're going to be talking about 1 to 2 inches in diameter of hail being expected. Then, of course, the tornado threat, we do have that hatch risk for tornadoes out there. Greatest threat for tornadoes is going to be out there like eastern Kansas, northwest Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, with a 10% chance, and then we have that 10% significant risk. Where we could see some, tornadoes potentially, EF2 or greater. That's where we could have some big tornadoes. So we'll need to look at that. Let's see, an early morning stream. PG, yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll be doing another live stream on our YouTube Shorts, which will be on this page, on this channel, but just on YouTube Short platform. Yeah, we'll be doing one of those in a couple of hours. Probably when the 06 Zulu HRRR comes out, we'll do that live stream then. So just want to keep you guys informed and as weather aware as possible. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be up all night, so I'll be covering as much as I can, to help keep you guys prepped and stuff like that. And then, like I said, tomorrow we'll go live for the event itself as well. But anyways, my friends. Well, alrighty, y'all. We've been live for an hour and a half here. We're probably going to call it a stream for now. I'll go back live on whenever. Or if I just feel like going live again to help out, like I said, because it's going to take breaks in between here. I'll go live again tonight for sure with you guys on YouTube Shorts. But the next live stream on this or like on this setup here with my face cam and all, this is going to be for the coverage tomorrow. Which tomorrow for coverage, I'm going to do both on Shorts and on, obviously, the main platform. So, yes, Haley, of course. Absolutely. But, all right, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for joining. Appreciate all of your support. Thank you for being here. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to join our Discord and stuff like that. We have all that down in the description and everything like that. Once again, thank you guys for the people who have donated and supported us. I really appreciate y'all's support. Thank you for helping keeping us afloat, stuff like that. It's much, much appreciated. And alrighty, everybody, thanks for joining. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And like I said, if you're going to be up late, we'll be live again for you guys sometime tonight to help you guys out with severe weather and stuff, and just let y'all know what's going on. But All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys take care. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And most importantly, share this to your friends, your family, anybody you can. It'd be much, much appreciated just to help spread the word. But alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys later on. Peace out, my friends. Catch you in the next one.